The ICF, intercity firm, are well named as they are the Scottish equivalent of West Ham's ICF. I have used their name as people will be familiar with them, but many of these earlier matches would have been the ICF's predecessors. The thing about Rangers is they were taking ends when football violence was in its infancy, during the 60s. Those days fans didn't really travel in massive numbers apart from say Man United's Red Army, so it was always a complete surprise when 5,000 to 10,000 Scotsmen turned up at the ground, mostly drunk and ready to fight. I really rate the Rangers mob. They took the Stretford end, plus the Lesers of Newcastle and Villa's Holt end. In Scotland they were just as evil, but it's much less easy to investigate. Unfortunately, videos of these encounters are rare due to age and technology. Some of their well-known incidents include 1961 Wolves v Rangers, Cup Winners' Cup. Wolves were massive at the time and had won the old First Division 3 times in the 50s plus the FA Cup 1960. This is believed to be the first time Rangers invaded en masse. Up to 10,000 Rangers fans turned up amid much drunkenness and mayhem. Some rioting and looting from what I can gather, with a lot of drunk fans entertaining the locals in various ways. Rangers still sing a song about the day Rangers went to Wolverhampton Town. Have a listen on YouTube. 1962 Tottenham host Spurs vs Rangers, Cup Winners' Cup. Spurs were also massive at the time, having just won the English double. 10,000 Rangers fans turned up mainly drunk. Not sure there was much trouble, but this is before away fans turned up in any force, so this must have been an amazing scene. 1967 Leicester v Rangers, friendly. 7,000 Rangers take the Leicester home end, the Pop. It was a full-scale riot, there were fights going on everywhere. The Pop was nothing but mayhem. 1967 Arsenal v Rangers, friendly. An infamous invasion of Arsenal's North Bank by over 8,000 Glaswegians. 1974 Man United v Rangers, friendly. Another infamous day with Rangers taking the Stretford end. The local newspaper did a story about the events 30 years later in 2004. Red Army Governor Tony O'Neill talks about the match fighting in his book The Men in Black, inside Manchester United's football hooligan firm. One old-school Rangers fan told me, "All I remember about that weekend was fighting from the minute we got off the train to the minute we left." I've said in previous posts about this that was the craziest weekend ever going to see the Gers. The atmosphere was wicked, and when we moved into the Stretford end, the Mancs were throwing kung fu stars and oranges with razor blades in them. One of them ran onto the pitch and burned a Rangers scarf. We were going mental. To be honest, when we were going into the ground I didn't know until later it was the Stretford end. I just knew it was full of them and they didn't stay too long. Looking back it was crazy, but I must admit I loved it at the time. 1969 Newcastle v Rangers, Fairs Cup semi-second leg. 10,000 Rangers fans riot in a night of violence. Over 100 injured. That night, Newcastle was under siege as violence erupted in all corners of the city. Rangers fans smashed their way through the streets after their team was trounced 2-0. Calls for assistance flooded police, ambulances, and hospitals. In a stadium brawl, more than 100 people were hurt, and the Fair Cities Cup contest versus Newcastle United was suspended for 17 minutes. Rangers supporters invaded the pitch. Northumberland police reported 29 arrests at midnight, 24 of them were Glaswegians. Running brawls erupted from pub to pub. (1974) Southampton v Rangers, Texaco Cup second leg. 5,000 Rangers fans descended on the Dell in 1974, causing mayhem. 3-1 down from the first leg, they were set on battling anything that came their way. Invading the pitch and engage in running battles throughout the game and afterwards. Everton v Rangers 1974, testimonial. 3,000 Gers fans arrived, much to the surprise of the locals and police. Appears to be the only time the Everton end was ever taken. An old-school Gers fan told me about events. The Everton end was cleared when a big fight broke out in the second half. No idea who was involved, but just remember all the Everton fans scattering. 1976 Aston Villa v Rangers, friendly. A pretty infamous event at Villa Park, when thousands of Rangers fans invaded Villa's Holt End and mayhem ensued. The local paper recently did a story about the day's events. Found a YouTube video but no footage of the trouble, I'm afraid. Villa fans tell me the Holt End wasn't taken and the coppers moved all the Rangers there because of all the trouble from the previous night. Sounds fair enough, but whatever, Rangers were in there all game by all accounts. Major trouble after the match also. (1980) Rangers v Celtic, Scottish Cup Final, Hampden Park. A famous match mainly because of the pitch invasion and rioting that took place that ranks it as one of the all-time worst disturbances inside and outside a football stadium. Supporters from both sides fought each other on every spare blade of grass, including the penalty boxes. The police had insufficient manpower inside the stadium to quell the disorder. Most of the 500 officers had been sent outside during the second half to control the fans in the street after the game. The thin blue line of police found themselves overwhelmed as supporters descended upon them from both ends of the ground, scaling the much-vaunted safety fences with ease. No sooner did the first wave of Celtic fans cross the halfway line than a large number of Rangers fans went to meet them. (1984) Bohemians v Rangers, UEFA Cup. Another infamous Rangers invasion, this time at the IRA supporting Dublin-based Bohemians who incredibly won the first leg 3-2. Over 3,000 Rangers fans invaded Dublin with scores of arrests, baton charges from the police and flags being burnt alongside sectarian hatred and violence. Glasgow Rangers manager Jock Wallace said, "I was appalled at the behaviour of some of our followers. One can tolerate a certain amount of boisterous enthusiasm, but what we saw here tonight was a disgrace to football and a sad reflection on Rangers Football Club." (1994) Hibs v Rangers. One of few defeats for the ICF. A major ruck, dubbed the Battle of Slateford, with the CCS, Capital City Service, of Hibs leaves the ICF well beaten, as Sandy Chugg writes in his book, My Life with Scotland's Most Feared Hooligan Gang. 1996 Ajax v Rangers, Champions League. 250 Ajax confront 100 Rangers in a mass brawl which the ICF admit they lost. 2002 Feyenoord vs Rangers, Champions League. Lots of fighting over the two legs with 34 arrests, 8 Dutch and 26 Rangers. Even fighting in Ibrox, which is quite unusual, I'm told. 2004 Rangers v Man United, Champions League. 300 Man United fans invade Glasgow looking for the famous ICF. When they find him, they take the piss in a bad day for Rangers ICF, according to ICF member Sandy Chugg in his book, Rangers and the Famous ICF. 2007 Osasuna v Rangers, Champions League. 5,000 Rangers fans turn up in Spain only to be baton charged by the Spanish police. Absolute mayhem ensues when the Rangers fight back and actually get the police on the back foot. 2008 Rangers v Zenit St. Petersburg, UEFA Cup Final. Estimates of up to 200,000 Rangers fans made the journey for this match, but the trouble afterwards marred the day. Rangers fans went on the rampage through Manchester, causing mayhem and destruction not seen since the Blitz, according to council officials. Video shows Rangers fans charging the police, who have to run for their lives. (2022) Rangers v Tottenham Hotspurs. Before Rangers and Tottenham Hotspur's pre-season friendly game at Ibrox, which attracted more than 40,000 spectators, there were unpleasant scenes on Glasgow's streets. Police dealt with a disturbance involving football hooligans. Police officers were attacked with street furniture. A single cop required medical attention after the Glasgow incident. The incident took place on Paisley Road West, close to Ibrox, where Rangers and Tottenham Hotspur were playing a pre-season friendly. 4 guys have been charged, according to the police. A 24-year-old guy was accused of rioting, mobbing, and assaulting police. (2022) Liverpool v Rangers, Champions League. Plenty of trouble at this match with pro-IRA songs shouted at the Gers fans, with a predictable response of attacking the goading Liverpool fans. Police managed to quell the violence but only just. I have purposely omitted all the matches against Celtic from the 70s and 80s, apart from the infamous final, as I'm sure you know every match was a war zone with the sectarian thing going on. The ICF is still active, but it's obviously getting harder for the football hooligan in today's techno culture. Watch out for my video on the world's greatest rivalry coming soon. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to help the channel grow and give you bigger and better content.